Well, we've been talking for a long time about Young Justice Season 5 and what's really going on. And earlier today, Greg Weisman himself actually chimed in a little bit and gave us a very, very clear answer into what's happening with Young Justice Season 5. Let's dive into the tweet and talk about what he said. Well, I know there's not really a topic hotter on this channel than Young Justice Season 5, and we're all looking for some official news. And we finally got a little bit from Greg Weisman. So I want to dive into that for a couple of minutes, but before we do that though, make sure you smash that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. Like we always say, we want to be your place for DC, Marvel, and Young Justice news, but we want to bring it to you transparently and truthfully, so you're really in the know. Well, if you're a fan of Young Justice, you actually know that one of the best parts of being a fan of Young Justice, besides liking the show, is the fact that the creative team is so active on social media. And recently, Greg Weisman kind of gave us a little bit of an update. Now, if you're following his Twitter account, you know he's been fleshing out a lot of characters. We actually did a video on that about 2 weeks ago. But earlier today, he actually replied to a fan about the status of Season 5 and what's going on with Warner Bros. Discovery. Now, the initial tweet comes from Ryan Lager, who actually asked Greg Weisman, what's the reason for Warner Bros. Discovery deciding not to renew Young Justice this time? And this was Greg's reply: I don't know whether they will or not. We are all waiting to hear the big game plan to see whether or not we fit in or can operate on the side or what. Everything is on hold right now. There's no news to report yet. Now, honestly, no news might be good news for fans of Young Justice, and here's why. A definitive no means Warner Bros. Discovery and DC Studios are moving forward without them, and there is absolutely no plans. James Gunn has mentioned a couple of times, and we talked about it, that he's garnered inspiration from both Young Justice and Justice League Unlimited for his new DCU, meaning he understands the show, and quite honestly, it means he likes the show because he's using it for inspiration. He's also made it pretty clear that Harley Quinn could move forward and there would be other projects that existed on their own. This absolutely means Young Justice would fit into that category, and seeing as it does so well on HBO Max, you have to think Gunn and team are very aware of that. Also, with DC Studios farming out some of these animated projects to other streaming services, like Season 5 potentially appearing on Amazon, that possibility goes up even more with the success of the show on HBO Max. So a on-hold report right now is not necessarily good news, but the bad news would definitely be worse, and this actually gives me a little bit of hope. Remember, HBO Max only ordered a Season 4. They didn't cancel Season 5. And apparently, according to Greg, none of the behind-the-scenes situations have changed since that initial bit of news. Now, obviously, once James Gunn announces his 10-year plan, which could come any day now, we might have a pretty clear picture on what's happening to Young Justice. But until we know more of those details, we're going to have to wait and see and look to Greg's social media to try to get clear and precise answers. Hopefully Greg keeps up the pace and keeps letting us know what's going on. It's one of the things that makes Young Justice probably one of the best franchises out there to follow. We'll have to wait and see. Now, this is definitely one of those things where I have to encourage you guys to keep using all those hashtags, buying the comics, and doing all the things that we need to do to get the show renewed. Obviously, no decision has been made yet, but them making more money will always encourage them to make more product. Let's make it so.